Guys, what's going on? My name is Jerry Miller. Welcome to the I Love CVille Show. It's good to be with you on a Tuesday. Thank you kindly for joining us. We're live in Charlottesville, the Commonwealth, the country, and the world on the I Love CVille Network. We have a phenomenal program lined up for you. All we're trying to do with the I Love CVille Network is to bring digestible ear candy to you each day. That's all we're going to do. Approachable content and allow you to make the decisions on how you're going to interpret that content from your community and my community. We have Election Day, specifically in the 5th District, as 4 Democrats battle to see who's going to get the chance to fight Bob Good in Congress for a chance to replace Denver Riggleman in the 5th District. This battle is tough and tight, and I'm going to tell you right now, COVID-19 undoubtedly impacting engagement and voter turnout at the polls. That story for you. An unfortunate photo is circulating on social media in regards to the Charlottesville Police Department. When you see the photo, you'll see what I mean. I want to highlight this photo because I think it's important for me with this platform and as a leader in the community to debunk this photo and to stand up for a group that needs perhaps someone to have their back right now. That story coming up. We're also going to discuss a follow-up from yesterday's show. So yesterday's show, a little quick background, really impactful. We were talking about how protesters were, this past weekend on Sunday, engaging, harassing, heckling, calling out, paying patrons at restaurants in the downtown mall. Families were enjoying Father's Day on the downtown mall yesterday during the protest, and the protesters were heckling the families on Father's Day and saying, you're privileged to be able to drink beer, eat food, have burgers on the downtown mall when black people are dying across the country. So I had a perspective and a take on this yesterday that I'm going to follow up on. I heard from folks in the Albemarle County office building and in Charlottesville City Hall, and I heard from a former mayor, I heard from a former state delegate, and a handful of private business owners who watched yesterday's show and thanked us for having this discussion. So I think it's important to emphasize that again. We're going to learn about the history of Lake Monticello, and we're also going to showcase the need for this community to come together as one. And if you want to head to this camera for the Charlottesville fireworks, the Albemarle County fireworks. Through the I Love CVille Network, because of the hard work of Bob Schotta, Barbara Lundgren, Tom Powell, Ray Cadell, Olivia Branch, just to name a few on the committee, we are making a push to save fireworks. Kelly Jackson, we're making a push to save fireworks in Charlottesville and Albemarle County. We have a private landowner that stepped up and said, you can use our land, my land, as a launch pad. Now we got to raise the money to pay for the fireworks, the permits, the insurance, the fire department, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The city's given no money, the county's given no money. If you want a 4th of July that your kids can remember, and if you feel it's important to celebrate Independence Day at a time when the country is searching for an identity, here's an opportunity to do so in your backyard. So welcome to the I Love CVille Show. My name is Jerry Miller. It's great to be with you guys on a Tuesday afternoon. This show is powered by a number of different clients: Animal Connection, Cameron Limousine, Ted Anderson and Anderson Seafood. But 2 of our favorites, Interstate Pest and Service Companies and Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine. The companies are committed to the safety of their team members. I like to emphasize this because if ownership and management is focused and committed to their team members, you know they will also be with their paying customers. So I've been impressed with how Interstate Pest and Service Companies, a 4-generation business, and how Dr. Wagner at Scott Wagner Chiropractic and Sports Medicine have navigated the tumultuous ecosystem and times that is COVID-19. Salute to them. Our first story, Judah, and let's get it on screen. If you can give me a thumbs up, the 5th District Democratic primary. This is a primary that has 4 folks challenging potentially Bob Good in a jerry-rigged 5th District. You have 4 talented candidates in R.D. Hofstetler and John Lisinski and Claire Russo and in Dr. Cameron Webb. All four are seeking the party's nomination to take on Republican Bob Good in the 5th District. This is how it's going to play out. A cautious optimist perspective, that's me. I think COVID-19 and the murder of George Floyd and the civil unrest that we've experienced across the country in 2020 has caused the 5th District congressional race to lose a lot of attention and a lot of position in the media news cycle. As a result, and I've said it many times, I think this particular congressional race is one of the most unanticipated, uncovered, unwatched, and unspotlighted congressional races that I've seen in a very long time, if ever. I think there's one candidate on the Democratic side, and Dr. Cameron Webb, who has leveraged the qualifications of being a doctor to really raise his profile in a strategic and authentic way. Dr. Webb, along with Dr. Bell, have done routine Q&As and live streamings on social media about COVID-19. As a result, we've gotten an approachable flavor for Dr. Webb because he's just being himself on these live streams. You haven't seen the same approachability or visibility with Claire Russo, John Lisinski, or R.D. Hofstetler. As a result, a cautious optimist in me sees Dr. Webb winning the Democratic nod to face Bob Good. And I've been on the record saying many times that I'm very nervous and very scared of Bob Good and some of his ideologies. And I've been on the record championing Dr. Webb many times as a guy that I think would make a hell of a congressman. When it's all said and done, because of the gerrymandered nature of this district, because outside of Charlottesville and Central Virginia, you have a large voting population that is pound the chest evangelical and incredibly blinders on either side Republican. So as a cautious optimist who's able to read the tea leaves and see what's coming, I see a Dr. Webb against a Bob Good and a Bob Good winning this in November. We'll follow. Another storyline to follow is how COVID-19 is impacting voter turnout. And I think it's undoubtedly having an impact on voter turnout. If you disagree, let me know. Put your comments in the comments section. We're live on 12 Facebook pages. I will relay them on air now. Share the show, like the show, engage with the show. We appreciate that. Comments coming in about what I just said. This is coming in, ladies and gentlemen, from Lynchburg, Virginia. Jerry, I watch your show often. Thank you for spotlighting people that needed attention on the show. I agree that Dr. Webb is probably going to get the edge and that Bob Good's going to win this race. It's unfortunate, but this is the way the district is set up. We need to wait till the next election when the district is redrawn, and then you're going to have two parties that have a legitimate shot at winning this as opposed to just the Republicans all the time. Exactly right. That's from Lynchburg, Virginia. Exactly right. Next story. This is a concerning story, and you're going to have to look at the screen, okay? Judah, do you have the photo ready to go?
Sure.
So this is circulating on social media in Central Virginia, and put it on screen. This is the photo from the Charlottesville Police Department. Give me a thumbs up when that's on screen. Look at the screen now. Look at the screen now. Everybody look at the screen now. This is the value of watching the video cast as opposed to listening to the podcast, although the podcast is phenomenal as well. So you see on screen, and it pains me to see this, but it's important as someone who has a platform and as someone who has some influence to offer commentary here. This photo is circulating on social media. It says racists enter here, and it's an arrow into the Charlottesville Police Department. This is wrong. And it might not be a popular opinion, and it might not be the cool guy's opinion, and it might be easy to throw shade into hate on the police department, but this is wrong. This isn't wrong. There's a couple of bad apples in every barrel. No question. There's a couple of bad apples in every barrel. And no question, we need to have more accountability, more transparency, and more oversight when it comes to the folks that are policing our neighborhoods and our community. And no question, maybe we should consider positioning the department in a different way, where folks in the department aren't expected to be, counselors and social workers and enforcers of the law. They're asked to wear too many hats. That's facts. That's facts. But I'm not going to sit back and allow a broad brush to be painted on a group of folks that are already undervalued and underappreciated. I think the best way to go about strategically, if you want to have a significant impact, if you want to have a significant impact on things, the best way from a protest standpoint is to think the macro picture and the strategy. Where you have the biggest impact on changing policy and where you have the biggest impact on changing social and human behavior is in the pocketbook. So the leaders of the Black Lives Movement in Charlottesville and in Central Virginia, consider this strategy, please. Consider making a strategic, compelling, very detailed and outlined case amongst your board of supervisors and your city councilors about using financial resources to close the wealth gap and to create racial harmony. Use the financial resources from the municipality and have those financial resources allocated to more groups like Yolanda Harrell and the New Hill Development Corporation that are focused on bettering the African American community in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. I think this is a cautious optimist perspective, when we begin targeting customers of private business like we saw on Sunday, and when the protest and the movement begins targeting private citizens and small businesses and leaving graffiti in front of police departments that is using the term racist to describe the police department as a whole, what's happening is shifting the attention and shifting the perception and shifting the brand. Instead of peaceful, impactful, and strategic, the conversation this week has become harassing and destruction and unnecessary and short-sighted. Until Sunday, the movement locally was harmony, impact, influence, young kids making a difference and stepping up. Today, the terminology we are using, along with what I just said, is unnecessary destruction. Blanket terminology that doesn't describe a department as a whole. Not seeing that if you cannibalize tax revenue by keeping customers from visiting private businesses, that revenue on the back end is going to end up hurting the same demographic that you're championing and supporting now. Okay, it's the big picture. That's how you win, the big picture. So, as a cautious optimist that cares about the community, that is a leader and wants to see change in his Charlottesville and in his Albemarle County and his Central Virginia improved, this is all a cautious optimist has to say. Get back to the mindset of peaceful, impactful, and strategic protests. And get out of the mindset of destroying small business and blanket terminologies like racist enter here. Because that is changing how the community sees the movement. And when you start splintering the community and the people that are supporting it, that's when the movement's going to lose momentum. And please consider the tax revenue that goes to your schools, and please consider the tax revenue that goes to everyone's schools, the maintenance of roads, and the need to keep tax revenue at a tough time heading in the right direction. Please. Next topic goes to Richmond, Virginia. And I'm going to start this by saying we're going to show you video footage from Richmond, Virginia that is uncensored. Uncensored video footage. So before we get to the footage, and I'll call it out here in a matter of moments, I'm going to give you the background. All heck is breaking loose in Richmond. And all heck is breaking loose in Richmond, and it's been happening for weeks now. Guys, remember how fragile we were at August 11th and August 12th for that 24, 36, 48-hour period? Remember that? How scary it was? Remember? Where you would go to the Walmart, or you would be on Market Street, or you would be at Fry Springs Beach Club, you'd be at 5th Street Station. Remember on August 12th when you'd be driving around and you'd see dudes in public carrying machine guns? Remember the story about a collection of folks in August 12th with machine guns? Remember how nervous and fragile we were August 11th and August 12th? Well, that's been happening for like 3 weeks straight in Richmond. Richmond's had August 11th and 12th for 3 straight weeks. And at last night, it crescendoed. It crescendoed to catastrophic proportions. And you had outside City Hall a group of protesters who are branding themselves Reclamation Square. They're reclaiming the square, the Reclamation Square. And these protesters were getting violent and vocal to the point where Richmond Police declared the protesters at 12:52 a.m. last night in an unlawful assembly. An unlawful assembly. And once it was declared an unlawful assembly, Virginia State Police then acted. And here comes the video. It's uncensored. So Judah, play video 1. And you don't need, you know what, do we have audio with the video, Judah?
It should have audio.
Okay, play video 1 with the audio. And tell me when that's playing. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen.
We need help.
So, as you're looking at the screen, you're seeing Virginia State Police using pepper spray, tear gas, and rubber bullets. This is in Richmond, Virginia, this morning. Look at the screen. Come back. Tell me when we're coming back to me, Judah. I mean, this is nuts. This is nuts. Okay, so come back to me. Come back to me, and then we're going to go back to the video here shortly. Okay? So what I'm seeing here is pepper spray, and this is fact, because this has been confirmed by multiple media outlets. State police using pepper spray, tear gas, and rubber bullets. The protesters were using umbrellas, wooden shields, and large empty pizza boxes to protect themselves from rubber bullets, tear gas, and pepper spray. You can't make this up. Put the video, the same one, back on screen with no audio, and I'll talk over the video. So you have state police in riot gear using pepper spray, tear gas, and rubber bullets, and you have the unlawful assembly using umbrellas and wooden shields and Benny DeLuca pizza boxes to protect themselves. Show the other video. Here's the second video, okay? And you can put the second video on with no sound. Play it back to back, Judah. It's no problem. And Bob Schotta, we're going to go to you about saving the fireworks in about 3 minutes, Bob Schotta. Just play the video back to back and give me the thumbs up when it's on screen. Look at the screen. Look at the screen. I'm going to tie this to Charlottesville, Virginia here. This is like out of like a Blair Witch Project in a city setting. Remember the Blair Witch Project? This is like a Blair Witch Project in a city setting. riot-geared state police shooting rubber bullets, pepper spray, and chemical agents at protesters who are using umbrellas, wooden shields, and empty Benny Del Luca pizza boxes to protect themselves. Now I'm going to relate this to Charlottesville, Virginia now. Are we on a one-shot with me, Judah?
Yeah.
You know what? Let's go to the studio camera because I am hot and bothered and sweating and get fired up. I just care so much about this community. Now let's relate this back to Charlottesville as I take this jacket off. All right. So a couple of things from a Charlottesville standpoint. Richmond has undoubtedly, Richmond, Virginia, without question, to steal a phrase from former Mayor Mike Signer, Richmond undoubtedly has become what Mike Signer said that without question backfired on him, the capital of the resistance. That's Richmond, Virginia. And when you look back on the history books, and when my 2-year-old son goes to AP US History, and when he's learning about unrest in America and in Virginia and in Charlottesville, and when he's learning about August 11th and 12th in Charlottesville, when he's in school here, he, without question, in the very next paragraph, is going to have a paragraph that he reads about Richmond, Virginia. And the paragraphs associated with Richmond and what they're experiencing here are going to be bigger and longer than Charlottesville. So from a Charlottesville standpoint, what's happening in the RVA is superseded what happened A11 and A12 in CVille. Superseded. Okay? So that's one angle that I'm thinking about. Another angle that I'm thinking about is our leadership, our city management, and our city hall, and our city council, and our Albemarle County Board of Supervisors, guys, get ahead of this now. I'm begging you to get ahead of this. I'm begging you to get ahead of this now. Please give us a plan of attack of how we're going to manage the removal of these Confederate statues in the community. We are beyond the point of saying the statue should stay or the statue should go. The statues are going. It's Richmond gave local municipalities this decision-making power, and the local municipalities say they're going. They're going. So get over whether they should stay or they should go. We're on a different train right now. Now I'm begging leadership in our community to outline an executable plan of attack of removing the statues that create so much nationwide strife and bring folks from outside our community to our streets to create issues, beef, and friction in our community. I do not want that. How we can prevent that from happening, it's common sense. Give us a plan for how and when and why and how and the cost of the removal of these things. Tell us the plan and be transparent and freaking do it now. And as a community, we can digest this plan, and then we can say if unrest or turmoil happens because of the eradication of these monuments, we can say there's a plan. You don't have to have unrest. There's a plan. There's a plan. Richmond didn't have a plan. Richmond had no plan. Richmond had zero plan. The plan they're coming up with is on the fly. And look at what's happening. Richmond is turning into a freaking war zone. Put the video back on screen. Put the video back on screen. Does that look like a place you want to live? This is in front of City Hall in Richmond. Have a plan, dear God. I beg you. Is it back on screen, the video footage?
I've got the second one up. I'll put the first one up again
Just
in a second.
back to back it. Oh my good night. Like and share the stream right now if you want our city management and our county management to have a plan. Do you want a plan? I freaking want a plan. Let's go to the comments. And keep the footage going. Just keep the footage going. Bobby Schotta is coming up. Bobby, we're going to get to Bob Schotta momentarily. Okay, Bob Schotta momentarily. Amy Whalen says, good morning. Tim Phelps says, I can't wait for Bob Schotta. This is a good one from Jay Bartels. Militarized attacks against unarmed citizens is a crime against humans. Stay strong, RVA. I hate to see this. Jeez Louise. This is 60 minutes, 55 minutes from us. Keith Smith says, proper planning prevents piss-poor performance. That's the United States Marine Corps mantra. Amen, brother. Are you back on me?
Nope. Do you want to be?
Yeah, let's go back on me. And I'm going to go to Bob Schotta. Bob, I'm hitting you up in 60 seconds. In fact, I'm going to send you a Skype text right now, Bob. I just don't get what's happening here. I mean, we don't have a plan for stimulating local economy into saving a corridor like the downtown mall or Midtown or the corner that we see before our eyes. We're going to an empty storefront situation. And do you know what empty storefronts create? Empty storefronts create other empty storefronts. Empty storefronts create hopelessness. Empty storefronts create crime and in a disengaged community. So I'm literally saying, I'm hearing from the businesses on the mall that are my friends and my clients, and they're literally telling me, please get the word out there that renewals for leases are coming up and we're thinking about not doing it. And that's what a lot of them said at the end of business on Friday, right? And then on Sunday, 2 days later after I'm hearing from 5 or 6 different business owners of prominent businesses downtown that are thinking about not renewing and encouraging me to use our platform to get the word out about that. Then 2 days later, we have a protest downtown where the protest goes from peaceful and strategic and influential to harassing and derogatory and demeaning of paying patrons and saying the paying patrons have white privilege because they can eat their burger and have and drink a beer on Father's Day with their kids when people are dying across the country. So the downtown owners are thinking, holy, on Friday we may not renew, and then on Sunday this happens. And 60 minutes, 55 minutes down the road, I'm watching a catastrophic, lack of better phrase, war zone in Richmond over monuments that we have here. And I have yet to see an executable, clear-cut plan of attack for the removal of these statues and monuments. And I have yet to see an executable, clear-cut, small business stimulus plan of attack to help save what a lot of folks call the backbone of the economy and small business. I mean, am I missing something? Am I missing something here? Am I reading the tea leaves incorrectly? Let's go to Bob Schotta. Judah, I'm going to Skype Bob Schotta now. We're going to try to save the fireworks. How about a little positivity? Wouldn't fireworks be a little positivity that we can rally around as a community? A little fireworks in the sky? I mean, me personally, I'd love to galvanize around Independence Day and some fireworks in the sky that everybody can say, forget about the first 6 months of 2020 and look up front and say, I'm proud to be a freaking American. Bob Schotta on the line. Judah, give me the thumbs up if I can welcome Bob. All right, Bob, you're on the line. You got a lot of friends watching the program here. I'm going to get out of your way on any topic we've been covering, and then let's talk fireworks here. How long have you been in Charlottesville?
Oh, gracious. Since this is my second stint in 97, was here in the late 80s when I first met, Billy Carden and Olivia Branch and the original, we formed the original Tips Club back in the day, get around for breakfast and just talk over what's going on in Charlottesville. And we were in our 20s and we were on average 10, 15 years younger than everybody else. And here we are 30 plus years later, still working together.
You love this town. He loves Albemarle. He loves Central Virginia. I saw him at Carter's Mountain with his lovely family on Father's Day. Bob, who enjoys a beverage or two, beeline straight for the bar, just like I did, and got some ciders, I would think. That's exactly what I did, Bob. All right, let me get out of your way here. Temperature, what you've seen over the weekend, I mean, this is a tough subject here, but you can handle it. Show's yours.
Well, I'm everything you were just going over, that I didn't know what was going on in Richmond, and I'm not prepared to even begin to address it. What I want to talk about is, when I was on your show a few weeks ago, I had just gotten word from the city that doing anything fireworks-wise at McIntyre Park was a no-go. I was expecting it, wasn't shocked, but still kind of bummed out about it. We worked so hard last year when the sponsors bailed out, and I had to go on TV and say, hey, we're not going to have fireworks show, and the community came together. It's always uplifting when you're in at times like that. And are fireworks super, super important to the ongoing day in everyone's life? I guess not, but it is tradition. It is something that we always look at. Is our country perfect? No. Was it perfect in 1776? No. But we want to make it better. Times have got to get better if everyone keeps working together and making it better. And the fireworks is just kind of that pause in your life to say, let's celebrate, our birthday. Let's celebrate the good things in the States, and let's do better. And I didn't want to see that go to waste. And so when I came on your show and was like, I don't know if this is going to pull off. I want to make it, I want to go somewhere high so it's not COVID restriction where people can't gather and do this. And then I come on your show, and then Ray Cadell pops in, Barbara pops in. Tom Powell was the one who came together and found our spot. He knew the woods.
Wendell Wood.
God bless Wendell Wood and Hunter Wood for stepping up and saying, hey, we got the spot for you. We're not going to charge you for it. They've been helping. I talk to Hunter every other day. He's helping me raise money. He's not just donating the land. They're going to help us raise money. I increased the budget this year from the perspective of the fireworks dramatically, only because I just wanted this to be the greatest show we've ever put on. And even though we're at a very high point, I wanted larger shells. I wanted a bigger show. And it won't be a longer show. It'll just go higher than it's ever gone before. We've actually, filed a flight plan with the FAA to let them know, hey, we're doing this. And they're like, let's go, do it. Our budget's $35,000 to cover all the fireworks and all the permits, and I hope to raise $50,000 to give all that money to the food bank, because I know they are busier than they've ever been. There's a lot of families out there that don't have income and need the food bank. And local charities like that are very, very important. I was at the Red Cross today trying to give blood, and they need blood badly. And, I encourage everyone to get out there and do it. But yeah, we're just, Hunter has stepped up. People like CNF Bank, William Krebs, Panera Bread, Kelly Jackson. Kelly Jackson's the first one to call me.
She's watching now. She's watching now.
Yeah. Kelly Jackson called me. He goes, listen, you can do it from my house if we got to do it. And I'm just like, I don't know Kelly from anybody, but I've gotten to know her, and she's a great person and great local. All these people that I named, there's a lot more people who have, donated bits and pieces, $5, $10. Every little bit helps. And I've just committed that we're going to get there. I set the budget high. I set the goal high, just because I believe in the community, and I believe there's people who, this isn't for any one person. This is for the whole region. Just, people say there's no, not a time to celebrate. I'm like, no time is perfect. There's never a perfect time, but it's just we got to keep the tradition going, and hopefully everybody will come together and park the car someplace where they can see Carter's Mountain and go from there.
Let's emphasize this. This is really important to emphasize. It's not a zero-sum game. Just because we want fireworks doesn't mean we're not focused on these other things and bettering the community. We just want to keep a tradition alive and give someone an opportunity to do something fun with their family on the 4th of July to celebrate Independence Day. It's all about that. The spot with Wendell's house on that mountain next to Carter's Mountain, I mean, from a private land standpoint, we can't ask for a better launch pad, Bob.
No. I mean, I didn't even, when I started reaching out, I know the Childs at Childs Orchard. And so that was the first place I went. But they have their own events going on. And considering I haven't really gone after corporate sponsors because I know everyone's taking it on the chin. They see the show, they see the press release that we've put together, and if they can come up with some money, great. But I'm really looking to the private folks that have done okay for themselves and still have a little bit extra to give us 500, give us $1,000, and we'll get there. Time is short, and it always seems to come like this every year. I don't know why, but I'm committed to making this happen, and with the team we've put together and your help and local media's help, I think
How do we donate? How do we get involved?
GoFundMe. You can go to the GoFundMe page. That is, and just Google Charlottesville Fireworks or search Charlottesville Fireworks in there. I'm developing a Facebook page right now that'll have it, and you can donate there. The information's on there if you want to go directly to the food bank's website and send the check directly to them. Just make sure you put fireworks in the memo, and the money will get there. And they're a 501c3, so it's a tax deductible donation, even though it's funding the fireworks. So just Tom Powell has been our lead spokesman. He's out there every day on every radio show doing a hell of a job. Pardon my language. Supporting getting the word out, and just continue to push, and just hopefully good weather. Really, it all depends on good weather still. Last year, at McIntyre Park, we had such a cloud overhang. I don't think the fireworks went 100 yards in the air. And so this year, even with, we're using larger shells than we've ever used before. So they'll go higher. And, yes, for you dog owners, they're going to be a little louder. But hopefully you're high enough out of the way that it won't upset. And plus, 9:15 to 9:45, lock the dogs in the basement, but put everything away, close the windows, tighten everything up, and hopefully we'll have the greatest show we've ever put on.
9:15 and 9:45 from Linda Wood's property. We're trying to save the fireworks. We now need you, the viewer, and the community to donate and to help this cause, to make this happen. We have a GoFundMe link, and if you're one of the businesses that is watching, Tom Powell, Barbara Lundgren, Olivia Branch, Bob Schotta, let's get some business sponsorship involved here. I'm pumped for it. How about, Bob, you always have something good to say here. How about a final word? Anywhere you want to go.
Nah, I mean, it's all about, it's just all about keeping the tradition going. And like I said, I'm not trying to ignore what's going on in the world. We're not trying to do that. We know there's a lot going on. We can all do better. We can all be better. But this is just, if you've got a few extra bucks and want to see a show, help us support it. Even if you don't, I hope you watch the show. It's supporting the community. It's supporting the region. It's supporting local business. It's, just take 20 minutes, 30 minutes off and watch a show and hope things get better, and hope your life gets better, my life gets better. And just be proud to be Americans. And it's hard sometimes for some people, but I always am, and we can always be better and do better. But let's support the community. Let's make this the greatest show we've ever seen. It was great. I got to play a little morning golf, and then head up to Carter's Mountain and spend some time drinking some Bold Rock and buying some ice cream and eating some fruit. And it's always a great time up that way. And the views are spectacular. And I think I just pray for the clearest sky that we've ever seen on the July 4th. We are having a rain date this year of July 5th, just in case the weather is bad. But I don't know if I've mentioned that before. But just it was a great day. How was your
You have
day?
a beautiful family. We were coming out as you were coming in, and I saw you guys. I didn't have a chance to say hello. You have a beautiful family. It was awesome. It was awesome. I love Father's Day. You're working hard, dude. I think we need to get you back on as we get closer. And thank you for the hard work. Thank you for the effort.
My pleasure.
You have a good one, Bob.
Take care.
All right, Bob Schotta is one of the good guys there. Love Bob Schotta on the I Love CVille show. Save the fireworks. It's been interesting, like how some folks have responded. Just because you're doing fireworks doesn't mean you're not focused on everything else going on. It's just an opportunity for Charlottesvillians and Albemarle Countyans and Central Virginians to watch for 30 minutes a celebration of the United States of America in Charlottesville, Virginia. Donate, support help. 20, 50 bucks goes a long way. There's a GoFundMe out there that really, really needs your help, guys. A lot of positive comments coming in, a lot of comments coming in general. It's a strange time, right? Give the show a like and a share. Did you get the history of Lake Monticello ready to go, J-Dubs?
No, we don't.
Okay, so we can play history of Lake Monticello tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, so tomorrow we will hear from the distinguished gentleman Keith Smith, who's has been there from the beginning at Lake Monticello, and we'll hear a history of this neighborhood. Here's an interesting factoid and tidbit for you. I learned this from Keith and Jonas Smith of the Yes Team Realtors. The largest neighborhood in Central Virginia by individual households is Lake Monticello in Fluvanna County. Repeat. The largest neighborhood by individual households in Charlottesville or Central Virginia is Lake Monticello in Fluvanna County. 4,200 homes there. Those 4,200 homes in the lake are about 15,000 people. Fluvanna County in totality has 27,000 people roughly. So more than half the people in Fluvanna County live at Lake Monticello. So hearing the history of this neighborhood that has the largest population, has the largest homes of any in the area, I enjoyed it. We'll bring that to you tomorrow on the I Love CVille show. We will include the GoFundMe link in the package on ilovecville.com when we archive this story. And I want to close on this. You know, I want to close on this. I think we need to be perhaps more patient and more long-term in our thinking. It's easy to think short-term and to react in the moment. But up until yesterday, just about all media outlets and just about all folks in Charlottesville and Central Virginia were talking about how for 4 straight weekends and 4 straight weeks, we've seen coexist in harmony and an impactful strategic influence of protest around Charlottesville. You saw Barracks Road closed down a couple of weekends ago. You saw one at the John Paul Jones Arena and a couple on the downtown mall. It wasn't until this past weekend that we were talking about, negatively engaging with private citizens and paying customers of businesses on the mall, and actively and negatively engaging with the police department from a spray painting and derogatory comment standpoint. That changes the perception of the movement locally, and when that happens, you begin to lose momentum. So, just my standpoint, the peaceful, strategic is going to win in the end. And if I was in your shoes from a businessman standpoint, where you're really going to win and get the leverage is by figuring out how to get allocated the city dollars, the taxpayer dollars. That's how you're going to win. It's not going to be hurting the businesses. Because when you hurt the businesses, you're not going to get the taxpayer dollars on the back end to make the true impact. And the impact's going to have to happen at the school level, education level. The impact's going to have to happen at the housing level. The impact's going to happen at the policing level, the community policing level. And the impact's going to have to happen at the voter engagement level. And all of those things need taxpayer dollars. All of them. So I encourage everybody to protest peacefully. It's your constitutional right. It's your constitutional right. Peacefully and strategically, and not with harassing and negative tactics. It'll just go along, it'll be much more impactful. So far, so good, though. I'm Jerry Miller. It's the I Love CVille Show. We're going to see you tomorrow at 12:30. Love connecting with you guys through this platform. Have a good afternoon. Good show, Judah. You got the sizzle reel saved for tomorrow?
No, I had to turn iMovie off.
Okay. But we can get it for tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Cool. You did a good job today. I think what we should just do is cut the sizzles from the previous show, like right after we do it. Unless you disagree.